So today I'm doing a reading vlog on the secret world of Briar Roads, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a fairy tale retelling of Snow White. I love Disney retellings. I love Disney and all the Disney princesses. The cover and it's so stunning. Anyway, let me just read you what it says. It says you have that little regard for your life. Corin pressed the blade harder to Briar's throat like a challenge, so she could feel the princess's suck in a breath and let it go. With the rise and fall of her chest beneath her damp dress, she wanted to cut the girl open and demand answers from the wretched, beating heart that gave her foolish hope. Somewhere between the crooks of Briar's limbs and path of her veins, Corin searched for the truth. Yet when Briar replied, her voice carried a lightness, like she could float away at any moment, even as Corin pinned her body to the ground. Oh my God, death means no uncertainty, no pain, no sadness. Why is it almost like a being in a dream? 100 years have passed since the last hair of Gadalon fell into eternal slumber and doomed the once mighty kingdom to poverty and invasion. At least that's what the fairy tales claim. Karen is a jaded thief who doesn't believe in fables, even when she searches Gidlin's underground tunnels to find her younger sister Ellie, who ran away to find the sleeping princesses in hopes of being a better life. Karen's conviction shines when she discovers the ruins of the ancient castle maintained by beings from the kingdom's golden age, who protects a hidden portal into Princess Amelia's subconscious. Following Ellie's voice, Karen jumps in the portal and seals the entry behind her. Inside the lush world of Amelia's dream, the sisters reunite for a new adventure as they meet Briar Rose, Amelia's whimsical alter ego, and that mouthy and sharp-tongued demon with a good magic, but has to explore ice castles, sunflowers, mazes, and star-filled oceans. Karen suspects Briar Rose is hiding darker secrets behind her perfect paradise, and that there are some things her conscience can't very Briar. So the dedication page is very Sleeping Beauty-esque. It says, to my 11-year-old self who started wishing she could sleep forever and never wake up, I'm glad these things. Author's note, the story is inspired by my experience with depression and suicidal ideation. If you find the subject matter to be difficult to read, please take care of yourself first. Chapter 1 opens just like that. It says, last words Ellie said before she disappeared were, I hate you. To Corin, this sentiment was something new. Saying I hate you was a universal language between sisters, and their tongues spoke it fluently. But this time it was different. This time, when Ellie said I hate you, Corin knew she meant it. She said, Golan knew their home wasn't forever. There would be a few years of normalcy and routine, and if their factions allowed it. Okay. And then there was a war between rivaling countries and military new flags, but never any warnings for the families who lived in Gadalon. Houses were simply strategic locations to be secured, and people like Cardin and Ali were just collateral damage. About as insignificant as roaches that were crushed to death. Okay. I don't need to go that far. Her inside risked their lives seeking refuge in the parts of Earth's kingdoms surrounded by forests, but those dreams were quickly dashed in the royal family, abandoning its people living in an ungoverned country to descend into chaos. Warring groups divided into territories, and with soldiers patrolling the borders. Corin knew Ali couldn't have left their faction. Mm. Okay. It says even at the age of 12, Ellie still latched onto bedtime stories she heard as a child when they had lived with other artisans. Corin thought living the commune last year would at least let Ellie outgrow Charlotte's interests and forget their friends. In the end, it was only Corin who wanted to forgive them. But she kept dwelling and dwelling on longer and longer. And alright, it states even if people knew Allie had been missing for a full day, they would assume she was simply an inner street rat who faced the early mercies of death. But Allie wasn't dead. Karen knew this because this was no body. She had checked the usual places out just in Lotard and no, it wasn't that Allie was dead. It was that she was nowhere to be found, as if she had disappeared into thin air. It is tragic, really, what has happened to them. It had been a year, and stillness came into her in nightmares and woke her in sweat and tears. There was no point in picturing how even the autumn leaves died that night, crumpled like the bodies strewn over the debris. She had not been there at all. There after all, she needed to focus on the opportunities in front of her in that. And it is my husband used to describe a scene to me, and I would draw it. Before he died, we drew so much together. Karen imagined a woman and her husband. That's how I'm drawing the scene. Wait, that's not gonna help. And it just made me took a mind deterring with an old age to fall for a trick like this. Believing the dreams of starving artists, but the truth was the dreams were never enough. My mother died when she was 10. And then she had like this pendant, like a hollow ring, and it was supposed to mean something, like her grandmother's pendant, but now it's worthless and it has no value. And now it's just like an old family here, and she doesn't want it. And then it says Princess Amelia did not believe in true love, but her fairy godmother thought she did. Sorry. Think of true love you'll meet someday and how excited you will be to fall in love for him. A handsome man to provide a reason for her just now. This is a motivation to keep living. Despite the curse that promised she would sing forever when she turned 18. Clover had granted her the gift of true love's kiss to break the curse. So this is like a tipping beauty or whatever. So of course her grandmothers believed in it. The entire credibility depended on the cure, lest their reputation to be tainted. Amelia first went to smile and perform a magic trick, but she felt nothing. Okay. So she was on her father's throne, on a chair, and everything was in gold. And King Victor is the guy, like a royal family, and just like an Olander like another part of the royal family, but he's like a fairy who was possessed the ability to create gold. But he limited his magic to one family. So and since ancient magic still work, but the bloodline wouldn't continue with her. She was 15 now. Her father decided to marry, was very understandable. Broken parts should always be replaced. Therefore, King Victor needed to produce a new heir, preferably a son, but if not, at least a girl who carried a stronger legacy than sleeping for the rest of life. Especially 18 years of age. Oh yeah, that's too young. And me and I thought 18 is too young. Fairies were known to be lovely spirits, and as a younger sister, she embraced that reputation with spark and the voice and natural sign though. And many couldn't blame the commoners for their distrust. Being fiercely protective of the royal family was their job, and having a stranger live in the castle introduced too many risks, especially when that stranger came from disgraced nobles and carried a reputation for spending time at bathhouses. I overheard her trying to convince King Victor to set up camps, more places to take in runaways from Solaire, dangerous criminals who would eagerly stab the king for a fraction of his gold blood. And then it says, welcoming another woman into the castle must be difficult. And she goes, her mother had died giving birth to her. She held no animosity toward the new queen, nor did it react with any of the tantrums that one would expect for her adolescent. Instead, she felt about the situation like she felt about the most things indifferent. Where her mind often wandered, as her grandmother's gossip was a different road entirely, one far away from ancient castles and limestone towers, and talk of golden bloodline, demon curses, and even true love. Will I still become Briar words? She waited for an answer as the fairy perched her lips. Long ago, the godmothers discussed plans to disguise her as a friend. They feared that the demon Malachi would visit the castle and trick her into pricking her fingers on a spindle. Stupid beauty. It might be easier, they suggested, if she lived as an ordinary girl among the other forest nymphs, a girl by the name of Briar Rose. And that's why I got the name of the secret world of Briar Rose. Which is very, this retelling of Sleeping Beauty. It's really good, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I picked it up. Beautiful, spot and everything. 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I'm excited I got this. And that's my reading log for The Secret World of Briar Rose. And I'll see you in my next reading log. Bye.